going on, YouTube? How you doing? How you doing? First and foremost, man, I hope everyone having a wonderful day. Today is Wednesday, and we closer to the weekend, y'all. We are closer to the weekend. Now, for me, everything going pretty good. This is my third day of fasting, man, and it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I'm still used to eating in the morning time and stuff like that, man, because I'm a pancake lover. I love pancakes and syrup, and I used to eat that like at least 3 to 4 times a week. So I'm trying to get rid of eating that. I think the hardest thing about fasting is not eating the sweets that I used to like. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a lover of Sprite and Kool-Aid. You know, especially Kool-Aid from these soul food restaurants, man. So, because I'm one of these fat niggas, right? I'm the type of nigga that order, let's say I order something from F&F Japanese spot, so I order that, then I drive like 10 miles to a soul food spot just to order that Kool-Aid. So I'm that type of cat. But anyway, enough of me. Once again, I thank y'all for the support. I thank y'all for subscribing to my channel. I thank y'all for helping me build my channel. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all the comments and everything like that. And I thank y'all humbly. Before we get started, please subscribe, please subscribe, please subscribe. Now, Ebony Magazine has done a great piece about foundational Black Americans. They explain what foundational Black Americans is. They express how we are changing the landscape of how we identify ourselves as foundational Black Americans. So I want to give a shout out to Ebony Magazine. You know what I mean? Now, before I get started to talk about the article, we all seen how Ebony Magazine has been represented towards Black people. Now it was brought by a brother by the name of Junior Bridgman, but his daughter Eden Bridgman Sklenner, I'm gonna call her Eden Bridgman. She owns it and runs it right now because her father passed away. Now, if y'all don't know, her father was Ulysses. I think his name Ulysses. Let me just make sure I'm saying his name right. Well, his name Junior Bridgman, but his real name is Ulysses. Junior Bridgman, he played for the NBA. I think he played for the Milwaukee Bucks. And so, you know, he passed away last year, and now his daughter running. But I think he bought it for his daughter, so I'm gonna say that he bought it for his daughter. Now, his daughter, you know, she's married to a white man. You know what I mean? She's married to a white man. And, you know, for a decade and a half, you know, Ebony Magazine been pushing this interracial dating. So, you know, there was a lot of articles about my first time being with a white man, or interracial dating is great. You know, the white man and the Black woman are great for each other, or reason why Black men shouldn't bring a white woman home and stuff like this. So there was a lot of little hit pieces for a long time against Black men, or the promotion of interracial dating. So I just thought Ebony Magazine was weird for that. But, you know, we got to give them their props, man. You know, I might disagree with some of the rhetoric that they push, but at the same time, hey, a clock strike twice. I mean, what they say, a clock strike twice the same day, it means right in the same day, whatever they say. So we're going to get to the article, man. I'm just going to give y'all a summary of it. One of the things that they talked about in this article was they were talking about the debate on Black American identity. You know what I'm saying? And I guess they were speaking about how we distinguishing ourselves from other groups of people. You know, how we distinguish ourselves from Africans, Caribbeans, or people that immigrate here that are melanated, or they, you know, Afro-Indigenous, whatever they want to call themselves. And I think that was a great part. I'm happy they did explain that part about that, man, and not to Africanize us, because they ain't really Africanize us in this article, in my personal opinion. And I think that's a great thing, because us being Africanized, man, it's just not a cool look when we try to get tangibles for us as a people. Not even just reparations, but certain protections that we need here in America. Certain things that's specifically needed for us. You know what I mean? So I think that's a great thing. What else they said? They gave the historical context of the transatlantic slave trade. I'm gonna read this excerpt right quick. They said most Africans from the slave trade went to South America and the Caribbean. The U.S. population developed separately post 1808, leading to a unique ethnogenesis through shared trauma, resistance, and cultural development. I'm happy they talked about that also. I'm happy they talked about how a majority of the people came to America. I mean, the majority of people that was on the transatlantic slave trade stopped in the Caribbean islands of South America. It was only a small percent that touched America. And I'm happy they homed in on that part right there, because a lot of people still harping on like the majority of slaves was, I mean, majority of the slaves in America came from Africa, and it wasn't, man. It was a lot of melanated black indigenous people here prior to the slave trade. And like I always say, I'm gonna use the 300,000 that came here that touched America. It's just amazing to me how 300,000 equal up to like 54 million people, to this day, or 43 million, however many Black Americans here in the United States. So that's the wild part to me. So that's why I believe that there was people here before any white man touched this land. I'm so thankful that Ebony did explain that. Another thing that they mentioned was the politics of naming and terminology. Now, they did explain this. I'm going to read this right quick. Terms have evolved over time. Reverend Jackson popularized African American in the late 1980s as a unifying political term linking to ancestral African and global solidarity. FBA emerges in current debates as an alternative, emphasizing a specifically American form identity distinct from broader diaspora labels. And one thing I liked about what they did was they mentioned how the terms of us being named evolved from Negro to color, Black, and African American. So I like how they talked about that, how we was renamed so much, how we were reclassified so much. I'm thankful for that. I'm humbly thankful for that, because at the end of the day, whatever you want to identify as, we are not continental Africans, and we are not people from the islands. You get what I'm saying? And we have a distinct lineage on this land. We have a distinct history on this land. Just like they mentioned, we had an ethnogenesis, So I think that was a great thing, man. That was a great detailed article. I hope this article, goes far, and I hope it enlightens people. You know what I mean? I hope it enlightens, regardless how people might feel about Ebony Magazine. They did do right by explaining what foundational Black Americans is. Then they had another part on it, talking about unresolved question, and they were saying about how the frames of identity as an ongoing unresolved issue, what Black Americans call themselves, reflects deeper questions about ethnicity versus race, belonging, and how history shapes group definition in the U.S. context. And I think that's great that we are shaping and naming ourselves, identifying who we are, because so many times we get lumped in with other groups of people, and we are not like them. I think that's a failed experiment that did not work. It did not work at all. Us as foundational Black Americans, being around Caribbeans and Africans just didn't work, or any other melanated group just didn't work. These people come here and have their own culture, their own style, their own beliefs, even their own religion sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They had their own mindset on dealing with racism. They just different from us. You know what I mean? We are homegrown people. This is our home that was invaded. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm rocking with right there. Shout out to Ebony Magazine and us as foundational Black Americans, man. Y'all keep pushing. I don't mind what you call yourself. You can call yourself anything, but long as you highlight that you descendants of emancipated people, that's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me. As long as your family don't have immigrants, as long as you're not a family of immigrants, or you have family members that are immigrants, I ain't talking about people that was married into, like your auntie that married African, or your uncle that married Jamaican. Nah, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about if your family, specifically like your mama, got family in Jamaica, or your daddy got family in Africa, you're not one of us unless you're a bi-ethnic, And I'm still kind of on the fence on this bi-ethnic and the biracial thing. I lean more towards the biracial if the child is mixed with white, American white or Black. But me, I don't know. Maybe that's something I got to work on. You know what I mean? But with this bi-ethnic thing, I'm not feeling the bi-ethnic thing for sure. That's just my personal opinion, because a lot of these bi-ethnics, man, they something else. Just like the biracial. So I'm proud to include them both, in that. I don't have no problem with people that got mixed breed kids. I ain't got no problem with that. If you got a mixed breed child, still love your mixed breed child. If you got my bi-ethnic mixed child, I ain't knocking that either, man. I understand. I understand during that time, love is love. You should love everyone, blah, 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 blah. But I just be thinking of the turncoats that are mixed breeds and bi-ethnics. You know what I mean? Like, I think of those turncoats on how they can railroad what's owed to us, because they can still play both sides. I think that's dangerous. Me personally, I think the full-blooded nigga should get everything. If you're not a full-blooded nigga, I think you shouldn't have first dibs on what's owed to us, especially when it comes to reparations or anything that's monetary or land that's owed to us. I think the full-blooded niggas should get everything. I don't think mixed breed should get everything. I don't think bi-ethnic should be in the line with me as I try to get my reparations, as I turn in my paperwork showing how my family are descendants of emancipated people and how I belong to this land. I think it's not fair. Me personally, I think that's just me. Because I have these conversations with people that are mixed breed or bi-ethnic or whatever like that, and they always talk about the white side, or they always talk about the African side, even though their family might be FBA, but they always use that shit and they always play both sides of it, man. I can respect a mixed breed that say, hey, I'm foundational black American, woo, 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 woo. Or I can understand a mixed bi-ethnic mug that talking about, hey, I don't claim the African or Jamaican side, I'm strictly FBA. Cool, but man, you got some of these mixed breeds out here, man. They so whitewashed. You know, I know how white people is, man. White people gonna figure out a way how to get into anything we got. And I think those mixed breeds gonna be almost as dangerous, just like these bi-ethnics. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know what, let me change. I think the mixed breeds would be more dangerous than the bi-ethnics. And once again, I have nothing against anyone that has mixed breed children or bi-ethnic children. I don't have no problem with it. I get it. You know, I get love is love. You marry who you want. You screw who you like. I get it. Things happen. Boom. You know, but I just feel like the full-blooded nigga should be the number one priority over everything. That's just me. If I had mixed breed children, I would love my children. I would honor my children. I would die for my children. I would do anything for my children. But I also, in this delineation movement, and not just the delineation movement, but just certain movements that we're trying to, certain things we're trying to get as black Americans, I can understand if people feel a way by me having mixed breed or bi-ethnic kids. I can understand it. I can totally understand. I feel like the full-blooded nigga should get first dibs on it. That's just me. So if you got mixed breed kids or bi-ethnic kids, please don't take this as a jab, like, oh man, bro, you know, nah, man, I ain't saying it like that, so please don't take it like that. I got some cousins that are mixed breeds. I ain't got no bi-ethnic cousins, but I got some mixed breed cousins. They we around the same age. They weird as fuck, but you know, I love them. But I just don't think they should get what's owed to them off my grandparents. And let me tell y'all a quick story. When my grandparents passed away, and my uncle, he got some mixed breed kids. And when my grandma passed away, this is what my grandmother, she passed away in 2013, right? She left us some money. You know, she left us some money. You know, thank God she did. She left us, you know, all her grandchildren some money. But the one thing she excluded was the mixed breed kids, which is a good thing. Everybody felt the way about it, but even then, I understood why, because she knew that since my uncle's no longer with the wife and the kids were staying with the white mama, that if the money was left to the mixed breed kids, the white mama's gonna benefit off the money that my grandmama worked hard for. I want y'all to think about that. My grandma already had, and my grandma never mistreated those mixed breed kids either. She never mistreated them. The white woman, she was never mistreated when she came around. You know, she was cool or whatever, you know, but I'm so thankful that my grandmother had the mindset to understand if, I'm about to say my uncle's name, but if my uncle was not still married to that white woman, she probably would have allowed the kids to get some money. But by them being divorced, not together, and the kids living with the white mama, my grandma didn't include the kids, she include those mixed breed kids with us as the full-blooded nigga grandkids. So shout out to my grandmother for that. But anyway, y'all have a good one. Y'all check out the Ebony Magazine article, man. It was a good, pretty decent read, quick read or whatever, man. And y'all have a good one, man. I enjoyed it. Once again, if you got mixed breed children or bi-ethnic kids, I have nothing against y'all, okay? I understand. So don't take it as, oh man, Brian got something against mixed breed kids or bi-ethnic kids or whatever like that. I ain't got nothing against y'all, bro. I ain't got nothing against y'all. Alright? So let me just say that. But I got full nigga babies. You know what I'm saying? My kids are full nigga. I never been with a white woman, Mexican, none of that. Every woman I've been with has been black. Now I've been with a few African women now, but I ain't got no baby by them motherfuckers. But all the women I slept with was black. You know what I mean? But anyway, y'all have a good one. Salute.